All right, looks like we could be live on YouTube, you guys. And you wouldn't believe I just got back from Atlanta from the Dream Big Career Conference. And there was so many of my YouTube friends. They're like, I watch you every week. She goes, I really feel like I know you really, really well. I said, that isn't that how it is when you watch people on like something like a preacher or whoever, and like you know them so well. So anyway, welcome to my YouTubers. Some of y'all watch every Monday morning or Tuesday or whatever. So we're glad y'all are on here. And it is a way to share some of the knowledge that we have. So tonight, you guys are in a today is the March the 18th. We had St. Patty's Day yesterday, 2024. And so a lot of the girls from Georgia, we all went up to Atlanta to the Dream Big Career Conference that some of the nationals put on there. And I asked Sayla on the way home, we were talking, and I said, Sayla, can you think of anything that could have made that better? And y'all, it's rare that, I mean, usually you can think of something. And neither one of us could think of one single thing that could have made that conference better. Like, if they asked for feedback, I would say, don't change a thing. I mean, that's how I think how great it was. So there was a directors and DIQ meeting, which I'm going to talk about later, at the beginning on Friday night. And then the next day was 9 to 4. And we had 12 of our Mary Kay Cheetah Nation there. And then we had about five of our A team that sat with us. So we had us a nice little group, two whole rows just about, and just had a ball. And everybody looked so sharp. Our unit was recognized as number 3 on stage for in the court of the units. And so I got to speak on stage. I actually posted my little video on the 4-point recruiting plan on YouTube. So if you want to hear it, it's on there. But I thought it would be fun to hear from some of the girls that went. And I told them they could have like 2 minutes each. Y'all could probably have 3 because we don't have every single person on here. The ones that are on here tonight that could talk just a little bit about something that they learned that we could bring back to y'all who were not there. And I know a lot of y'all are going next weekend, and so am I, or this coming weekend. And we will want to hear from y'all next week. So I'm going to start out with a sister duo. And this is Deborah and Donna. And Deborah has been in Mary Kay for quite some time. Donna just joined this year. And Donna had never been to, she's been to January Jumpstart here in Valdosta, but she had never been to a big event. So this was her first event. So I would like for those two gals to just, talk to us a minute and tell us a little bit about what you thought about the conference, and y'all can take turns. You can talk together. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So, this was very moving for me as well. I enjoyed the enthusiasm, the sisterhood, um, realizing there is no other company in America, in the world to me, as Mary Kay. Our freedom, and the teaching was phenomenal. There's a lot on there. I know Cleta pointed out the 4-point recruiting plan that should always be a part of every facial we do. Also, that it's not this is a promise. We can make promises that are broken, but really it's a commitment to be involved in Mary Kay and reach goals in our lives. And also, how long have you been wandering in the wilderness? What am I going to do with my life? They were talking about stop wandering in the wilderness, and stop living in addition and start multiplying, spinning our wheels, and multiply. Think big and always think of others than ourselves. When it gets messy in the middle, we just shake it off. Don't carry out or stay spinning messy in the middle in our circumstances. Work through it and carry on. My numbers don't define me. Go make money and work in your strength. And we all are different on purpose, and we don't have to know how to do every single thing to the perfect nth degree. And that's what makes it beautiful. And we can work in our strength. And that people can feel your heart. Ladies, we compare ourselves to each other or others. I'm not as good as her. I'm not as bold. I'm not this. Just step out in faith and work and do it. And also I love that, they said it, this is a culture. I know all of you've heard that too, but it's an awesome culture that we can put God first, family, and our business that can take us places no other can.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. That was Deborah Barrett. And she got back in her red jacket and got to go on stage. And so we're so proud of you, and got to recruit while she was at career conference. So, or right before she left. That night. Do what? Yeah. And you got another one.
And last night, and possibly another one tonight. So hopefully.
All right. Let's do it, girl. Let's do it. Okay, Miss Donna Taylor.
So I got a good message about finish the job, and the little pink ribbon that we had to wear on our wrist to get in. I'm gonna wear that when I'm working my Mary Kay, because that's gonna remind me not to promise, but to commit, and don't limit myself. Everyone matters. And all the amazing stories that I heard, the bottom line that I got from that, and those stories, I got chill bumps, they were unbelievable, was that Mary Kay is so much deeper than makeup. It's about pouring into people, and they feel it. And there's so many women out there that are desiring that, just even a little bit. Because God changed the world with 12. Think what I can do with just 12. So we can do the same. I learned about the 4 points, and I was so amazed. I had no idea that my leader was so famous and so way up there. I mean, I knew Cleta was great and all that because of what I feel from her, but like all the goals and stuff. And then and I was so excited. I got to walk across stage with the finest in Georgia.
Yeah.
And it just built my heart. And then one of the ladies, her name was, what was her name? The one that did the bags.
Yes.
Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She grabbed me and she goes, "Hey, beautiful," when I walked across stage. And I was like, nobody ever tells me that.
Oh.
And so that touched my heart. And then I learned about the 4 points of recruiting, because I didn't quite understand that. So Cleta made that perfectly clear with the owl, with who. The Cracker Jacks is my story. And the pick. And you're going to pick one in the group that you're going to zero in on that has the qualities that you're looking for. And you're going to give them a little gift to get those referrals, because that's where you're going to find your people, and you're planting the seed. And the more you give, I realized you can't outgive God. And the more you give, the more you will receive. And I'm going to hunger for that excellence. And no means that's not where it ends. It's next. You just move on to the next one. And I've committed to be a better encourager. And when I do, one of the ladies talked about our travels and our journey. And when you get in the middle, you get bogged down and all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm not getting bogged down. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to live my dream. And I am going to Dallas, Texas. To seminar.
I love
yes,
it.
I am.
Thank you, Donna.
I don't have the money right now, but I'm going to find a way.
Yep.
Hey, listen, and just take just like Selah, she had a goal to do $1,000 a day, and she did it. So
I wrote that down, Selah, and I'm going to do it.
That's right. Well, thank you, Donna and Deborah, the sister duo. I love you both. I'm so glad y'all came, and it just warms my heart to see y'all together and that you went. And so, way to represent us on stage together as we got to do our Cadillac March. So thank y'all so much. Okay, next I'm going to bring on stage. I'm going to bring on stage my girlfriend, my traveling buddy, Selah. Let me bring her on here. All right, Selah. So Selah's been to many, many conferences, And she and I rode together and stayed in the same room. So Selah, I'm gonna let you just have at it, sister.
Okay. Hey, everybody. It was a fabulous event. From the moment that we got there and we saw all the pink Cadillacs, and then we walked in, and a lot of the nationals were greeting people as we came in. And really, what struck me is that we are part of such. When we're in Valdosta, you don't, sometimes it's hard to really envision just how big and great our company is and what we are a part of. The legacy, I know that I told Cleta on the way home that the nationals, those women that have gone before us, they worked hard. They were just not thinking about selling one lipstick. Kristen Sharp, she did 335 parties one year. That is amazing. And then her mother and those women, when they got into Mary Kay, they got in to earn money. That now we talk about a lot of different reasons why people get in, but truly Mary Kay started this for us to be able to earn a living, earn good money to help either support our family or to solely support our family. And as some of the ladies have mentioned, there were women there that they have been through lots of trials and tribulations and supported their family through that. But one of the ladies that was up there talking, she said, and this was one of my favorite quotes of the weekend, was step so far out of your comfort zone that you forget how to get back. And I thought that was so powerful that it's like a rubber band. And when you stretch it, it never goes back to its original shape. And so she was saying, not just get uncomfortable, but get so far out of your comfort zone that there's no way you'll ever get back to the original place that you were. You will be far greater and better down the road. We heard examples of people that just the grit and all of the people skills that they have learned from Mary Kay and how that has taken them through either supporting husbands that lost jobs or really going to battle. In one case, I think someone else is going to talk about this, about how she went to battle for her husband who was literally dying, and the hospital would not see him, and just all of the Mary Kay lessons that she learned along the way helped her get him seen. It was a great weekend. It was like Cleta said, I don't know how it could have been one bit better. And then to be part of the Cheetah unit and the area, just all of us there together, to have a big goal to do $1 million, to see other people have their goals that help make up that goal. It was just fabulous, and I loved it, and I love being with everybody. So thank you.
Thank you, Selah. I love that quote too. That was a big one that I wrote down and I circled. Okay, next up, Sister Sandra Griffin. Let me find her and bring her up here with me. There she is. And Sandra, you can go ahead and unmute there. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Try it one more time. There you go. Okay, Sandra Griffin, she's been to many, many conferences, so I'm going to let you take it away, Sandra. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Hey, everybody. Kind of ditto what everybody else said. The conference was it was awesome. It was so upbeat. It was just good. Everybody was so friendly, and it just kept going. Like, sometimes you sit there and you kind of get a little sleepy. No, wasn't no sleepy. It was just amazing. But it's just a few things that I take away. One was be powerful, not pitiful. Like, don't just sit there and go, oh, poor me. And one person, I don't remember who it is, but said hard work is attitude, discipline, and doing the extra. Like Sailor said, step so far out of your comfort zone, you forget how to come back. And one thing that kind of stuck out, which we kind of don't think about, but it says how you do anything is how you're going to do everything. So if you start out doing just whatever, just kind of nonchalant or whatever, then that's how you're going to do everything. You're going to make it a habit just not to even push yourself or not to even go the extra mile. So I thought that was good. That kind of stood out. Build a concrete strategy and plan, like like have it concrete and stick to it, and learn from the best, like our leaders, like our directors, team people that are above you, learn from them. And one other thing that kind of stuck out is focus on your strengths. And another thing was when they gave the definition of discipline. It said discipline is doing what is required. Whether you like it or not. That's what discipline is, doing what you like or required. And then somebody did the Frank's list, and they spelled it out, and I will do the acronyms for that. Frank, F is for friends, 7 to 10 friends and this is a list that you can set up to get contacts and leads that just do your Frank's list, and this will give you ways to get new leads or get referrals. And the F stands for friends. Everybody has 7 to 10, ask 7 to 10 friends. R stands for relatives, ask your relatives, which they're kind of at the top because they don't really help you that much. A is acquaintances, like they don't have to be a friend, just somebody just ask, acquaintances past or present. Neighbors, ask neighbors. Ask your kids' friends, whether your kids are little or grown or whatever, still they have friends, whether they like you to ask or not, ask them anyway, they said. And then social media, that's the S. So that's Frank's list. And just as I said, just talk to everyone. Just talk to everyone. But overall, everything was good. I won't tell everything. I know there's others who gotta talk. So
yeah. Thank you. I love that Frank's list. And that's something that, we got away from. And there's a lot of things that we've known, and then we bring them back. You're like, yeah, that's a good way. And it helps you just start thinking of different people, in your area. So thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. Thank you for going. And I just thank you for sharing tonight. Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to pull up Miss Linda Roof. Let me find her. Here she is. Okay, and Linda's been to several conferences as well, and so she drove up in her big red truck. And so, Linda, what are a couple of things that you got out of it?
Well, again, like everybody's been saying, I of course did really love the conference itself, and I really loved the whole fact that I was up there and again meeting so many new people, and it's all about, of course, all the sisterhood and, just being around everybody again and not just doing things over Zoom and everything. But of course, you hear about all the different nationals and how they did everything to get where they're at. But it's just amazing to hear that everybody has a different way of doing things. I think it was where Sandra was just talking about the Frank's list. She was just also talking about to date Mary Kay and to fall in love with it. It's not like you have to. And I was like, I had never thought about that, but that was something that kind of I thought about too. I was like, oh wow, that was something different that maybe to get your customers to think about it, to try it. You don't have to like jump into it right away and say, I want to be committed to it right away. They can kind of date it. That was a different outlook on it. And I was like, I gotta try that one too. But the other one was, I think somebody else hit on it too. Mia was talking about the different bags and to think about securing your different bags and which ones have you thought about already securing. I like that too. it just kind of, sometimes we forget about the different, like, I guess you could say, like, you'll think about, okay, I need to get somebody signed up as a team member, but then you forget about how much commission you can make. Um, and then the career, like your cars and stuff like that. Um, and then unless you're up further within the company, you'll forget about all the rest of the stuff that comes with it. And she pointed all that out, and I was like, oh, it brings it back to us to remind us about everything, that we need to start working on, to remind us, hey, this is stuff that we need to keep working on. But there was a lot of really good things, because they reminded us all that, our company is built on God first, family second, and career third. And that just kept coming up again and again and again within the whole conference. And that's one thing that almost every last one of the speakers kept bringing up again, is it's the sisterhood, and it's the belief that we all have within God, and that's how they've helped them through all the hard times that they've been through. Um, you know, and a lot of it has to do with, again, something else that I think one of them talked about too is tracking your progress along the way too. That helps you too. Um, whether you're trying to, work on a goal of, like you're working on, a $50,000 goal, or whether you're trying to work on, getting 40 recruits. It's all about, you have to track your goals to get to
That's
where you
right.
want to go. And I don't remember which one it was had talked about you have to track your goals to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there, I mean, and then I know you're going to probably hit on it, where one of the people was talking about our selling goals and the different holidays and how we can do that too. But you'll probably wrap that up, but I'll let you do that.
Thank you, Linda. And one of the things she was saying is they said, don't, like when you're trying to recruit somebody, say, listen, you don't have to get married and be married for the rest of your life to marry Kay. Just date it, get in, date it. And then if you fall in love and want to get married like us, and like we're married to the company, like I've been married for 38 and a half years, me and Mary Kay, we're not getting a divorce, And so thank you for bringing that up, Linda. I appreciate you. So glad you came. Okay, next we have one of our new consultants who this was her first big event. Actually, it's her first event besides the Zoom meeting. And this is Julie. Where did she go? Julie. Did she leave? We're not going to get to hear from Julie. Okay, well, that's all right. She did have a good time. I know that. If anybody sees Julie on here, y'all message me in case I've overlooked her. But we had several people that had never been before, but I wanted to share, I did get to go to the directors meeting and the DIQ meeting on Friday night, and it was really great. And there were some really good pointers that I want to just kind of wrap up with some of that y'all did not get to hear, And one of the things that Mia talked about, Mia Mason Porter, she's the national sales director, she said, what you think about, you bring about. And she said, be careful what you say. And I never thought about it this way. She said, if you say this, or you hear a team member say this, something like, well, I'm not going to quit, or I'm not giving up. She said, that means that they've been thinking about quitting and they've been thinking about giving up. So you got to listen for that. It says, so if that isn't even in your mind, should I quit? Should I quit? It says, you got to quit thinking about that. You got to start thinking, oh, I'm doing this. Okay. Instead of saying, I'm not going to quit, say, oh, I'm doing this. And I just never thought of it in that way. It's the skill of visualization she talked about, and you only visualize positive things in a positive way. I'm not going to quit is a negative. It's trying to be net positive, right? But saying I'm going to do it is more positive. Do y'all see the difference? So it's kind of like the things that you're saying. So she said, don't utter anything out of your mouth that you're not going to do. Just utter the things that you are going to do. And she said, make room in your life for what you want, not what you don't want. And that she said, for example, she said, if you're going for directorship, make room in your closet. Where are you going to hang that director suit? Go ahead and make a little hole there, put you a pretty hanger, and that's where that director suit's going to hang. She says, start visualizing that director suit hanging in your closet. Visualize, if you're trying to get in your red jacket with your 3 active, go ahead and get you a hanger, get you a little spot. Go ahead and pick out which jacket you're going to be ordering from the company. And just visualize yourself in that jacket. Go and get your black skirt or your black dress, and you'll be ready to go for seminar this next year. She said you have to, on the negative thoughts, you have to capture them and then cancel them. Capture them before they come out of your mouth and then cancel them. And you replace it with an affirmation, So like, instead of, I'm not going to quit, you're like, I'm going to become a sales director. Yes, I am. I am going to do 50,000 wholesale. Not like, I'm not going to quit until don't say I'm not going to quit. Just say I'm going to do it. So it's just a different way of thinking it. And I've never thought of it in the way that she said it. Margaret Bartz talked about delayed gratification. That was her big thing, that you have to be willing to have delayed gratification, and you have to be able to go at a level, like a high level. If you're going for something big, like I'm just going to say DIQ, if you're going for directorship, or like maybe you're like, hey, Mary Kay's cutting off the car program for consultants. I really want to earn one by June. Like I got to finish by June. She said, you got to do a high level of energy, of work, extended amount of time, and you're going to be tired, but you got to continue doing it. Like you have to be willing to work really strong and steady. She said it was she called it the season of no, where she had some people know that no, I can't, I can't do that. So-and-so with you. I can't go to that party tonight. She goes, just for a short time. She said, I was going for national. This was Margaret talking about it. She said, I thought my friends were like, why can't you go? She goes, she goes, I knew they weren't going to like it, but they're going to like me again later. I got to get through this thing, and I got to go really hard and really for a long, however long it took, that I was not going to grow weary in doing it. And I thought that's so true. And whenever I've had a big goal, you can't grow weary in doing what you're doing. And if you're doing parties and it's working, and you're going to be tired, but it's going to be a good tired, because you're going to run through that finish line and you're going to have met the goal. Does that make sense? And so she really talked about that delayed gratification. She said, look for results and momentum. And that, and one of the things with your sales director, she said, she told us to tell our unit members that I can be your cheerleader or your coach. A cheerleader goes, go, go, go. A coach says, okay, let's talk about what you're not doing and what you are doing, and talk to you straight. Right? Okay. To really move forward, you have to have someone that's a coach that can really tell you, and catch you when you're really not performing as good as you could be. Does that make sense? But you have to be willing to take it from someone who really cares about you, right? So kind of think about that as well. She talked about she said, the skills that you need to move forward for you to make your goals. And she said, you have to have these skills. And if you don't have them, these are some things you really need to work on. For example, getting a booking, like booking a party. If you can't book a party yet, and some of our brand new people, they haven't done it yet, but once you have to be skilled in booking a party, and then you have to be skilled of getting bookings from the bookings, like at your parties, being able to book from the parties. That's a skill and you learn that by having scripts, by reading, by practicing. And some of it you're just going to learn it by doing it. Like once you start doing it, you get the skill, and you don't lose the skill. Sometimes we haven't done it in a while, we think we forgot how. Another skill is just holding a good party. Getting that flip chart out, learning how to do a party, squirt the tubes, show them how to do it, do a good close, so that you could do it in your sleep in the middle of the night. Someone woke you up, you could just get up and do a party. It's just no big deal. Like your other job that you may have. It's no big deal. You don't go to work with your stomach in knots, because you've been doing it for some amount of time and you've got that skill, and it's just a matter of going to work and doing that job, right? So you got to get that good in Mary Kay. The other skill that she mentioned was doing a good recruiting interview, like talking to someone about Mary Kay, being able to get the agreement filled out, and then talk to them about inventory. And that's something that your sales director can do as well, but it's a skill that you want to work on. Also the value of a mentor, to have someone that you can look up to that can walk you through when you're really going through something big that can shoot you straight. And it makes a big difference. Okay, I put a big old thing that says key. When you put key and you put a circle around it, it's something you need to do. And she said one of the things that if you're called to a big goal, you have to shut down the naysayers in your head. Like when your head's telling you can't do it, got to shut those voices off in your head that says, well, you tried before, you didn't do it, or, it's probably not going to happen. She said, you had a goal in June 30th or July 1st, and then you're working on it. And then by December, you're not quite there. And then by March, you're like, it's not going to happen. So you change the goal. And she said, no, you got to remove those naysayers. You are going to make the goal that you set, and that you're going to go for it. Right. And she said, you have to remove the naysayers in your head and the naysayers of people around you sometime. So if you have people that aren't encouraging you toward that goal and say, it's fine, you're doing great, that may be not who you want to hang around with right this second. And then what I put is a key. She said, you have to also have the spiritual gift of goodbye. And what this means is, and she said it for directors, but I think for consultants too. If you've been in Mary Kay any amount of time, you're always going to have people that come in and out of your unit, in and off of your team. Always. There's not one person in Mary Kay that no one has ever left them. Like there's always going to be people that join and that people that are getting out. And she says you have to have the spiritual gift of goodbye, that's what she called it, where you love them while they're in and you love them when they go out. And you still have a good relationship. And one day they may come back in, to your life and to your unit. And that's happened to me before. So don't get so uptight if someone comes in and they don't choose to stay in Mary Kay. They only dated and they broke up. And you're married and you're like, let them go, but let them go with grace so that they could come back if they wanted to. And don't get yourself such in a tizzy that she left and now I can't make my goal. You never want to be dependent on one or two people that like, if they quit, you're done. I had a unit member way back in the day, and she said, this is years ago, and I was in my pink Cadillac, we were all somewhere, and she said, well, I'll just quit and you won't win your pink Cadillac. And I just thought, I was young, and I'm like, listen, if you quit, I'm still going to win it. I'll just find some people to replace you. I mean, it's so like, you can't have that where if she quits, I'm out. It can't be dependent on that. Okay. So it hurts your feelings, but you have to get over it, right? And go, okay, I think I'll find two more that want to do it. And it's going to be more fun to work with people who want to do it anyway. Okay. And let's see. Kristen Sharp talked about not taking herself so seriously, and she told some hilarious stories. Connie Kitson, she said this. Okay, I'm going to give this to everybody. This is directors or recruiters. If you have someone on your team, she calls them, they're just a stinker. Like they're acting out. Someone on your team or in your unit, she goes, she goes, no, I'm old school. And Connie Kitson is so sweet. I mean, she's just like, I don't even know. You just love her to death. She says, I just go and I get a picture of her and I print it out on the printer. And then I tape it in my Bible. She goes, and I start praying for that person. Every morning when I do my quiet time, I pray for those people that are just little stinkers in my unit or on my team. She goes, and it's hard to be mad at people you're praying for every day. She goes, and the Lord changes your heart towards them and he starts changing their heart towards you. And she said, try it. I promise you. And so, just some things like that. I thought that's really good. That's really good too. And so Mia, she talked about, trust the girl that's in the mirror to get out of her own way. She said, you look in the mirror and you trust that God, the God that is within you. And I think maybe she told that at the big group. Didn't she, Sayla? That pray for willingness and to have a big goal and pray for someone to push you so far off the edge, and then instead of falling, you're going to fly. You know, that the God that lives in you is going to help you fly. When you get to the edge and you're like, I'm fixing to go down. Nope, you're fixing to go up. And so my last thing I will say is about my friend Audrey McDowell. And some of y'all mentioned her. Audrey, her husband Todd, has been going through cancer, and she talked about her story. And one of the things that really impacted me was where the doctor that they had to go to and a very, like, across the country to a very expensive hospital and a doctor, and I think a procedure that the insurance did not pay. And she said it was a lot of money. She goes, I mean, like, a lot of money. And he was like, we don't have the money. And she said, you know, he didn't know. They've been together since, like, I think junior in high school or something, 8th grade. I can't remember, one of the two, or maybe junior in high school. Well, anyway, they've been married for years, 37 years, 38 years. She said he didn't know that since I've been in Mary Kay for 35 years, that I have put back 10% every single week of what I sold, my retail sales. She goes, sometimes it's a little bit and sometimes it was a lot. She goes, but every week. She goes, and I haven't touched it for all these years. She says, and I just looked at him and I said, I got the money. And he's like, you got the money? She goes, I got the money. He said, you got all the money? She goes, I have all the money. And she was so passionate she was doing it. And she was able to take that money that she had saved from selling skincare sets. She said, that's the goal. And she was able to take that money and really save her husband's life, you know. And then again, they needed a piece of equipment in their house. And it was like, he goes, well, we don't have the money for that. She goes, I have the money. He goes, you have more money? She goes, I got the money. And it was just like so impactful to me. And I'm like, why didn't I save 10% since I've been in for 38 years? But you know what? It's never too late to start, right? Never too late to start putting back money for the times that you don't know. Her husband was very successful. You don't know when something's going to happen, and you're going to need to dig in and have some money for yourself or for your family members. And that is why we sell Mary Kay, you know. So the whole conference was amazing. Being there with my unit was the best part. It was the best part of being able to go across stage my unit members and have that many people. It's been a while since we had 12, 14 people there. And so it was just so encouraging to me that they spent their time and their money to join us in Atlanta. And then we've got people going to, you know, Texas and to Charlotte as well. And so I want to tell all of you that are watching this, if you've never been to a Mary Kay event in person, you got to do it, whatever it takes. And if you're not going to career conference, you know, and it's, you know, your window's out that you don't feel like you can go, I mean, for you to think about seminar. It's in July and August, according to when your seminar is. I know the Ruby were the 2nd through the 5th. You want to put back your money right now and make a way to get there. Registration opens April the 29th for consultants. It's earlier for directors and for nationals, but next month. And so the first thing you'll pay is just your registration fee, and you'll get that out of the way. Okay. Like, you register, like, even though you don't know where the money's coming from for your plane ticket or your hotel room, you're going to get that registration in, and that's done. The thing isn't until August and July, you know, and then the next thing, you're going to get your hotel room, and there's the deposit. And then you're going to work on thinking, okay, I got to get there. And so you're going to look and see how much are the flights. As soon as you see good on sale, or if you can drive, that's good too, you know, and work it out. So by the time you get there, really everything has almost been paid for. You'll have some spending money for food and things like that. But I will tell you that this will be my 39th seminar in a row that I have attended. I attended when I was 23, and then I'm going to be attending when I'm 61. Eek, I think I'll have a birthday between now and then. We won't talk about that. But anyway, I'm just saying, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, find a way, make a way. I know that y'all will want to be there. And I know you won't want to miss it. It's going to be fantastic. And it'll change you. It'll change on the inside by going to an event in person. I think that's what I've heard from all of these women. Shannon also was on there, and she said the conference was intimate, not too many people. It's timely, fun, and most of all, very informative, with a wealth of information and inspiration. And so I think I might have missed Valerie. Valerie, sister? Did you want to unmute and get your camera on and say something? Okay. Evidently not. All right. Well, that's
No.
what we got. Valerie?
I was trying. I lost service, so I didn't know if you had called me a while ago or not.
Okay. Well, would you
Let
like,
me-
can you put your camera on and say, here,
Okay.
let me add you with me for a minute. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to leave anybody out that wanted to. Valerie came, with a couple of our girls. So Valerie, do you want to just tell them what was something that impacted you?
Well, you really pretty much hit it when you said the 10%.
Is it just me or can y'all not hear Valerie? Okay. I think her service went off. Valerie, we love you, girl.
Okay, here. No.
Okay, I think her service must have went out again, but I think she's talking about the 10% because I know her husband's fixing to have some surgery as well, so that's probably what she was going to say. But anyway, we love you, Valerie. I hope your service comes back on, but we will see y'all next week on the Boss Babe call, and we will be hearing about the career conference from all the different places that are Boss Babe girls. So if you're going to career conference next week, plan to share next week on the Boss Babe call, okay? And oh, Valerie, are you back? We lost
Yeah,
you.
can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, I think I hooked up to Bree's Wi-Fi and it wouldn't let me hook up.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay, yeah, I just loved it when the lady said that her husband got sick. When he said, their insurance wasn't paying at all, and when she just said, "I've got the money,"
Yeah,
because she had saved that 10%, that really struck home with me, and everything that just saving that little bit through the years
yeah,
was able to pay all that. And then when the national said the same thing when her husband, they were up there both talking, and he said he lost his job. And she said, "I got you, honey." And he's like, "What?" You know, and it happened twice with her because, she saved that money. Just 10%. That's a small amount,
mm-hmm.
but it adds up.
Yeah.
So that really has stuck with me. That's what I've got to do,
Me too. Me too, Valerie. I think that was one of the big ones for me too. So, all right. Well, I'm glad you got to say something. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Your Wi-Fi came back on.
Yeah.
And for everybody else that didn't get to speak tonight, that some of you that if you're watching this and you came, maybe we can hit you next week too. So we'll see you next week. We got a big weekend and we'll see you next Monday. Bye everybody. Thanks for watching.